Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I now call this meeting of the Board County of Zoning Adjustments on Wednesday, November 19th, to order. Any staff announcements?
No.
Mr. Bodie, can you do the first reading, please?
Yes, Ms. Chairman. The Board of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial body established by the Board of County Commissioners under Chapter 62, Article 2, Division 4 of Brevard County Code. The Board of Adjustment is empowered to hear requests for variances to the zoning regulation and the sign regulation in Chapter 62, Article 6 and Article 9. Pursuant to Florida Rules of Appellate Procedure, any person or persons jointly or severally aggrieved by any decision of the Board of Adjustment may, within 30 days after the date the order is signed, apply to a court of competent jurisdiction for appropriate relief. Ms. Chairman, you have 11 items on your agenda today.
Thank you. Second reading, Mr. Holmberg.
Undue hardship. A variance may be granted when it will not be contrary to the public interest and where, owing to special conditions, a literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter will result in unnecessary and undue hardship. The term undue hardship has a specific legal definition in this context, and essentially means that without the requested variance, the applicant will have no reasonable use of the subject property under existing development regulations. Personal medical reasons shall not be considered as grounds for establishing undue hardship, sufficient to qualify an applicant for a variance. Economic reasons may be considered only in instances where the landowner cannot yield a reasonable use and/or reasonable return under the existing land development regulations. An applicant must answer a variant hardship worksheet with 6 questions. The Board of Adjustments will discuss these questions today with each applicant who has requested a variance.
Thank you. For the third reading, Mr. Hoffman, can you read our board procedures, please?
Usually it's by the chair.
Mm-hmm.
I will now address my fellow board members, the applicants, and our audience regarding the board procedures for today's meeting. The Board of Zoning Adjustment, as a quasi-judicial board with members appointed by the Brevard County Board of Commissioners, will utilize Robert's Rules of Orders to conduct its proceedings. The chair is asking all board members not to ask questions while the applicants are making their presentations. Once the applicants have completed their presentations, we will begin board questioning with the board member who represents the applicant's district. When concluded, questioning is open to the full board. The chair will recognize each board member in turn. Once all board members have completed their questioning, We will then open the floor to the audience who may be here to speak concerning the applicant's application. Anyone from the audience wishing to speak will be given the opportunity to address the board once and only once, so be complete and concise. At the conclusion of public comment, the applicant will be given additional time for any rebuttal as well as to present their final comments. Once completed, no further comment will be heard from the applicant or the public. The action moves to this side of the bar for board discussion and action. We will not use a timer for this meeting. Instead, we are asking each speaker to be concise in what they have to say. It is important that you stay on subject and avoid information that is not relevant. All persons speaking must provide their name and address for the public record. Those wishing not to verbally state their address may ask the clerk at the podium for an address card. Please fill it out and return it to the clerk at the end of your presentation.
Thank you. We will now do the meeting minutes from our last meeting on Wednesday, October 15th. Any changes and motions to approve? Any changes?
I second.
We have a motion to approve by Ms. Clemens and a second. Thank you so much, Mr. Hoffman. Okay. Applications for variance. Mr. Bodie, can we have our first?
We need to vote.
I'm sorry, can we have a vote, please?
All in favor?
All in favor of the meeting minutes to be approved?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting minutes approved. Mr. Bodie.
Yes, item H1, Daniel C. and Darcie Starr request variance, Chapter 62, Article 6, Brevard County Code for a dock in an RU-1-11 zoning classification. Application is 25V 00062, located at tax account number 2418477 in District 2. And this item was tabled from the October 15th BOA meeting.
How are you?
I'm good. How are
Good
you?
afternoon. Can I swear you in? Do you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Your name for the record and
It's
address.
Daniel Starr, 1410 Torres Court, Merritt Island, Florida, 32953.
Okay. How can we help you today?
I'm asking for a variance for the dock height. I rebuilt a dock that was existing that had been damaged from a previous hurricane. We moved in. I assumed I could rebuild the dock. I did. I built it higher because our seawall is relatively low compared to some of the other neighbors that have had their seawalls redone. Our seawall is in a great shape. I didn't want to incur the cost to rebuild the seawall, so I just built the dock 20 inches above the seawall to accommodate not having water exposure to prevent it from deteriorating faster than it probably should have from the last, as the last dock. So that's the ask I'm asking for, is the variance to approve a dock height higher than the seawall height per the zoning.
Okay, thank you. This is in District 2. Ms. Clemens, would you like to start off?
I really don't have any questions. I see that you've completed it. You don't have any open code violations or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Mr. Hoffman, any questions?
I'm unfamiliar with these regulations. You're asking for an increased height, and it's kind of a question for our staff.
Can you make sure you speak into the mic so we can pick it up on the
Sure.
recording?
I'll start over. I'm not familiar with these regulations. I'm just wondering what the height restriction is related to.
The height restriction is a code that says that it can't be over if there's an existing seawall. It has to be even with it. So he increased it over it, like he was saying that the seawall was very low. He's trying to get it up out of the water, the whole dock structure.
Okay, so the regulation is even with the
Yes, it says that
seawall.
it's supposed to be even with it if there's an existing seawall.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Humberg?
Yeah, just one or two questions. It could lead to 5 or 6, who knows?
Sure. I'm ready.
The question is, it looks in the picture, if you made it even with the seawall, the dock would be in the water, correct?
It would be in the water a chunk of the year. You know, the canals do adjust in height, water height, so
Right, okay.
a good portion of the year.
And
it would
this
be-
is more of a monetary thing, you just didn't want to put the money into the seawall because it's okay, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Seawalls can be pretty expensive.
You don't have any other pictures of the seawall, do you?
I don't, I did bring a picture to kind of show you where the dock height is in relation to the seawall. And, yeah, there's a good picture right here. Can we turn on? Oh. So you can see that's the existing dock that I built. It's 20 inches above the existing seawall. If you look across our canal, you can see that our neighbors have a similar height seawall, and their dock is underwater a lot of the year.
Have you had any complaints from the neighbors? Do their neighbors know about this?
Yeah, all my neighbors know. Yep.
Okay.
No complaints that I know of, unless they made a comment that I'm unaware of.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I don't see any further questions. Just step to the side. Let me check with the audience. Is there anyone here that's in favor of this or opposing this variance? Can you come up to the podium now, please? Seeing none, you can come back. Ms. Clemens?
I make a motion to approve the variance request as depicted on the survey provided by the applicant with the date of 5/7/2025.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Ms. Clemens to approve, a second by Mr. Humberg. I'll read over the 6 factors. And bear with me, my eyes today, I'm sorry. That special conditions and circumstances exist which are not applicable to the other land structures or buildings in the applicable zoning classifications. That the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. That granting the variance requested with no, sorry, y'all, I'm really having a hard time today with my eyes, but I apologize. Go ahead, please.
So Number 3 is that granting the variance requested will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the provisions of this chapter to other lands, buildings, or structures in the identical zoning classification. Number 4, that literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the identical zoning classification under the provisions of this chapter and will constitute unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant. Number 5, that the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of the land, building, or structure. And number 6, the granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this chapter, and that such use variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Ms. Clemens, a second for approval from Mr. Humberg. We have an individualized vote. Mr. Hoffman?
Aye.
Sonia? Aye.
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 Your variance have approved. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Mr. Bodie, can we have the second variance, please? Thank you for helping me.
Yes, item H2, Park and Cruise 2 LLC, request 3 variances of Chapter 62, Article 9, Brevard County Code for a proposed and existing sign in an IU zoning classification. Application is 25V00030, located at tax count number 2428311 in District 2. And this item also was tabled from the October 15th BOA meeting.
Okay. Good afternoon. Can I swear you in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Your name and address for the record, please.
William Moberg, 274 Andros Avenue, Cocoa Beach, Florida.
Okay. How can we help you today?
We're trying to get a sign variance for Park and Cruise, which is located at 1700 Sea Ray Drive. I think you guys have information on it. We came here, I guess, a month ago. We were missing a piece of paper, needed to do it. We're asking for 80 foot. It's basically like industrial interstate type location. A lot of high vegetation, a lot of Australian pines, and we're just trying to get signage to get our guests there safely.
Okay. This is
Myra approved us, I think, for 45 feet. They said they were good with that. We're still asking for 80.
Okay. I see this is in District 2. Ms. Clemens, would you like to start the questioning?
I have a question for you first. Are you asking for the approved amount of changes versus Myra? Is this over and above that, or is this in addition to? Or
They're asking for the amount that was for what was advertised. Myra has, however, requested them to reduce the height and also the square footage, and also not have an LED, but then allow for the pre-existing non-conforming sign to remain in premise. And it's up to y'all to make your decision what y'all want to do.
Okay. So you're still requesting the original request for the variance for the height of the 80 feet, or sorry, 60 feet over the 20-foot maximum?
Yes, you know, I'm grateful for the 45, so I don't want to appear that I'm ungrateful for it. It just, the sign he's talking about that's non-conforming is a billboard sign that's not even on the same parcel. I don't know why they can't figure that out. It has separate parcel IDs. So it's not like we have a non-conforming sign on that property. It's just not true. It's a billboard on a lot that's a separate lot next to our lot. All billboards are non-conforming everywhere. I mean, they don't.
That's the fourth point? Is that the sign he's referring to? To allow for the pre-existing non-conforming sign?
Yeah, that's 3.
Yes, there's a pre-existing sign, non-conforming. I was just
But
pulling,
I don't see how
I was
that
just
has-
going to pull up the survey and see if it was located on the
I didn't see it
plans itself.
either.
If you need changes, why are you asking for conforming?
I guess I just need clarification if we're including that in the request or if it's outside of it.
Also, it is located in an industrial area. We have, within 50 yards of us, we have multiple cranes that are probably 100 feet in the air at all times. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that property. It's a cell phone tower probably within 30 yards of the property, and it's right at the exit of Banana River and 528, which a lot of our customers are doing U-turns in the B-line because you don't see it coming up because of all the Australian pines, stuff like that.
The non-conforming sign is on a separate parcel, but it is on where they're still parking cars on the same use on both parcels.
Okay.
So that's the reason it was included.
Included to be legitimized.
Yes,
Okay.
to remain.
And then your sign that you're requesting is going to be facing west
Correct.
so that they know that it's a
Correct. So they
turnaround?
know to get off at that exit,
And the
basically,
billboard faces east, correct?
both directions. And ours will probably face, two-face signs, so one will face east, but nobody's coming from the east to go
Right.
to us. But everybody's coming from the west. I mean, we could make it a one-way sign, that's not a problem. But, the billboard is on a separate parcel, so I don't know why they include it, because there's cars underneath it. That's just baffled me. I mean, and part of the problem is that billboard's there, that's been there forever, that I don't have any control over the billboard. It's under contract, and I don't have
Right.
any control over it. So if the sign was the height that was proposed, it's like the billboard would block part of it, so.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. And you have the proposed sign, or the proposed sign to go in front of that existing building?
Correct.
Almost to the property line.
Correct.
Okay.
And there was a sign, many years back, if you look on the Brevard County property appraisers, that property's been there for a long, long time. And there used to be a sign on the property that's got lost in a hurricane probably 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
Okay. And then, as far as for the LED, is that an option, or is that?
Yeah, I'm fine without an LED. I'm not even totally decided on the LED. Of course, the taller the sign, the more square footage you want, of course, but we're okay. I don't even know that I'd put an LED under it. We're just really trying to identify our customers, before they
Lead them
pass the
directly.
exit and have to turn around in the median, so.
Okay. Last question. Are you comfortable with what Myra presented to you as an exception?
I'm grateful. I'd rather more, for sure.
Okay.
The 80 foot, we went out and measured, and we said, okay, this gets us over, and we drove down the road and said we can see it from there. That's why we were asking for 80. Wish I would ask for 120. But it's really like an interstate, where you're driving down and if it's too late, you don't realize it until the last minute, slam on your brakes, so. But I'm grateful for whatever you do.
Okay. All right, that's the end of my questions.
Mr. Humberg?
Well, my only concern is what the concern Myra had, that it's just going to establish a precedent. I mean, how many businesses are on that road?
There's a marina. The rest of the land's all owned by Port Canaveral, really. So I wouldn't see where anybody has a like property to that. If you're familiar with that area, we don't, I mean, there's Sea Ray Drive and then there's 528, but there's nothing else in between. All the land around it's owned by Port Canaveral.
Any other questions?
Yeah, yes, I do, but not right at the moment.
So I'd just like to say, and I like to be clear, so just bear with me, and I apologize again.
No, go
my
ahead.
eyes today. But you're in an industrial area, the cranes in the area, and I just want to be clear today. So how I see it is that it's definitely safety for our customers. If you're a senior like myself, you want to see the signs. So we want to have the signs in the area where cars don't have to pass it, turn back around, go back, that kind of thing. So I definitely understand that, but I also see in here that we have 2 requests, correct, in this variance, it's 2. The first request equates to a 200% deviation to what the code allows. Am I correct on that, Mr. Bodie? And the second request, so we're really,
There's actually 3 requests.
3, did I miss the third one? Where's
Yeah,
the
the
third?
third one is to
Legitimizing.
allow for the existing non-conforming sign to remain erected
Okay.
in the same place of the business for a
But
proposed.
So
remember,
there's
that's
3.
not on the parcel, so we have no control over that. I don't know why they're associating me with that parcel just because there's cars
You're
parked
using
under
that
it.
parcel for parking is the reason.
Okay, so we're
It's
using
still
that for
being used for
parking.
your business.
It's not our parcel. I mean, I don't know if you've ever parked under a non-conforming sign, but one thing has nothing to do with the other, but.
Okay, so I just want to be clear today that we're here to approve 3 variants, not just 2. That's what I want to point out. Correct?
That's
Okay.
correct.
So we have that. So we have 3 variants. I'm clear with that. We under the sign. It's definitely seniors like me. We need safe. We need to see the signs. And that's all the questions that I have. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, but it's more, yes, but it's more of a, again, staff and
Okay.
legal. So Merritt Island redevelopment, or whatever they call
Myra.
themselves, Myra, is this a recommendation from Myra, or is there an enforceable, if we vote to approve these variances, does it overrule Myra? Do we supersede Myra's authority? I'm just not clear on, so we approve it and it's still not,
This is what the Myra had written. It says, although concerns remain that granting the variance as requested could create a precedent, the Myra Board ultimately supported the variance application and recommended the following stipulations. Installation of the new sign not to exceed 45 feet in height. Allow for 40 square feet in area over the maximum current permitted by the code for sign surface area. And they had one that wasn't here, but they said installation of new sign without LED signboard components. And the fourth one was to allow for a pre-existing non-conforming sign billboard to remain on premise.
but they're sending a recommendation to us.
It's a
They
recommendation.
don't have enforcement.
No, it's a recommendation from their
Oh.
board.
Thank you.
We, Mr. Huffman, we'd asked for a variance, and I think part of the variance process is we go through Myra first. So we gave our pitch to Myra, and they said, bring it down a little, don't do LEDs, which I'm fine with no blinking lights, but there really is, the residential, it's out by the interstate, basically, so.
Any variances that fall in the Myra area had to be heard by them before they heard by the Board of Adjustment.
So my question would be, you in agreement with my recommendations? Are you in agreement with that?
I'd rather have more height.
More height?
More
Okay,
height.
so you want more
More
height?
height. I'm cool with no LEDs or anything like
Okay.
that.
What's the current height of the billboard? Do you know?
Standard billboard.
excuse me. The
can't
survey
read
that
it.
was provided says the billboard sign is 33 plus or minus high.
There again, I just have a difficult time, and you can ask legal on that, but I don't know how they're attaching another parcel ID as me having a non-conforming sign. So if your neighbor has a non-conforming dock, they can't tell you not to build another non-conforming dock because your neighbor. It's two separate parcel IDs.
Can you address that legal, please?
Well, I don't know what they decided, what their thinking was when they did that. If it's owned by someone else, I'm not clear on what the thinking was there. So
Both
you have
of
to
these
ask
parcels are owned by Park and Ride. That's the reason it was included
It's
with
Park and Cruise too.
Park and Cruise, sorry.
Okay.
Park and
Who
Cruise
pays for
LLC
the
too.
sign?
They're both parcels are owned by the same LLC.
Okay, all right, yeah, the common ownership then is the reasoning.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Park and Cruise 3, by the way.
Can I ask for some clarity? On the day mock-up picture, the billboard in question is the one that's on the left-hand side that we're speaking of? The larger one?
Yes.
That?
It's in the very southwest corner.
Of the picture?
Yeah, it should be on the survey, marked on the survey. It shows it
Yeah,
on
the
it.
survey's so tiny.
Yes.
And then the picture depiction is at the 80 feet requested. So 45 should be sufficient?
I don't know.
Does that, do you guys seeing that? So this is the
I'd like
billboard
more.
at the 33 feet. This is the requested 80. This is the night mock-up. So he's requesting 8 feet, or sorry, 12 feet taller than the
To
current.
equate to this, correct? Is that?
That's
is
the
gonna be
80 feet
norm?
request.
Okay.
Mhm. And then the
And what's
12.
the problem why we cannot do the 80 feet request?
There isn't a problem
Oh,
with it. We
okay.
have to choose whether we agree with that or not.
Okay. Well.
I'm just making sure you can see the
Okay,
visual difference.
I do see the visual. So I'd just like to say, as we still discussing it, I agree with it because people like me who have some kind of sight problem sometimes, you can really see that. You wouldn't have to turn back around on that road at night in an industrial area as a woman driving along. So I think that should be granted for that very reason, because you can see it. It's not like you go past and you gotta turn back around, come back. Back here, I wouldn't be able to see that. I really, truly wouldn't. What do you say?
Well, let's do a vote.
Okay.
Well, let's ask if the audience has any.
Okay, well, that's all you have right now?
I
So
don't
just
know if this helps at all. I'm
Okay.
not real smart on using this stuff, but is that what I do there? Put it there?
I think someone else controlled.
But there's kind of a picture approaching the property. I know, my artwork's pretty lousy, but I tried to draw an 80-foot sign there, but.
Oh, okay, I
you
see
can
it.
You can see, you can't even see the billboard in that picture. You see,
Correct.
going down the highway, and you're within, I don't know, what is that, 50 yards of the exit ramp, and you can't even see the billboard that's on the adjacent property. That's kind of why, I don't know why. I mean, Ron Johns has been paying to be on it for a lot of years, but I don't know why, because nobody sees it from the westward direction. You can see it when you're coming from
I'm pretty sure
eastbound.
it's Duncan right now.
What's
I
that?
said, I'm pretty sure it's Duncan right now.
Yeah.
That's my exit to my home.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh, so you're aware of that. Good.
You'll need to give that picture to staff to include in
Okay.
the
Okay.
in
All
the
right.
packet because of the.
You staff?
presented it. Yeah, thank you.
And I think that was a good picture to really see it.
Yeah,
You
I
see?
mean, this is definitely, in my opinion, the vision. Like, that gives you a visual. of the height.
Right. Okay, Ms. Clemens? Oh, just step to the side of me. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to this or against this? Come to the podium, please. I see someone coming. Okay. Yeah, you could just have a seat right there. Thank you. Okay. Oh. And can you state your name for the record, please?
Yes, ma'am, it's Todd Oakey.
Okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth?
I do.
Thank you.
So I'm actually the
Are
operator.
you for or against?
I'm for.
Okay, you're for.
So
Okay.
with obvious prejudice, I work for Mr. Moberg. I actually operate the property.
Okay.
So I
Oh,
guess
okay.
just speaking from experience on some of the concerns that Myra had and what you had brought up too, as far as a precedent of if we did it here. There's 3 businesses on that road right now currently. Is ours, there's a bait shop, and then there's Marina. The Marina and the bait shop are one, they're strictly, or I say strictly, they're mainly a local business. So a lot of the traffic's local. Everybody knows they're there, they're established. If they're looking for a marina, it's not, they're not, mind's not clouded trying to get to a cruise ship, kids screaming in the back and what have you. So our property's a little different, where when people are coming, they're usually from out of the area, they're not familiar with the area. So the sign wouldn't necessarily be something that, is needed for other properties. It'd be a hard to say that was also important for their business success or safety. And on the safety side of it, one of the problems I've seen personally is numerous times people will pass, cut across the median. I've taken my truck out and pulled people out of the median on 528
Stop.
where they've done U-turns. We're discount parking. Everybody is, they'll do anything to save $1, including drive around and do a U-turn in the median. So the thing that Myra did bring up, I was at that meeting as well, was more about if we do it here, are we going to be able to, justify it for other people? And, with the 3 businesses that are on that road, there's really only one that is servicing out of the area people that, and one of the other things Myra brought up was, well, you have Google and Google Maps. And, our stance on that was we're also not trying to promote people to be driving, looking at their phones, trying to find a location. So we were just trying to make it something obvious. So for what it's worth, just firsthand experience, so you hear some of that, so.
I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have anything for him? Okay, thank you for that.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Clemens?
Question for Paul. Is there an option for us to do a,
Yes, it's up to y'all.
Suggestion?
If you wanted to split the difference, you could and give him, instead of 45 feet or 80, you could do like a 60.
are you fine with having that discussion?
Yes,
I
let's
think
have
there's a
this.
variance of, different heights.
Took a
You
little
want you want my input?
What's that?
I would just approve what they have right here.
For Myra?
Yeah. No.
No.
What he has requested from the county.
Correct.
Myra recommended, and I understand they're local
Right.
and they have their concerns. Their concern about a precedent, in my view, is Brevard County is making the ruling, not Myra. So they're not bound in the future by whatever we decide here today. They only recommended.
I
Correct.
understand.
And
Okay.
my discussion is, again, for safety reasons,
Okay.
people like, I think the sign is perfect, the height is great.
And leaving the option for the electronic as well for them?
Correct, whether they want LED lights or not, yeah.
I'm cool taking the LED off.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I don't believe anybody comes to your parking lot at night if you're parking for cruises.
We don't.
They load and unload during the
I think we
day.
should approve it, Ms. Clemens, I think so. I'm in agreement.
So the survey depicts the request for electronic, so do I need to exclude that? If that's what you're saying?
That isn't
to
part of the
read yes.
variance application. That would be something that was Myra's request.
Okay. All right. I make a motion to approve the variance request, limited to the depicted as the sign plans and survey provided by the applicant on the date of 4/25/2023.
And I'd just like to make one correction in there, we have to put variance, because it's 3. So I just want to make sure that's noted for the record.
I make a motion to approve the variances request on the sign
Okay.
plans and survey provided by the applicant with a date of 4/25/2023.
Thank you very much.
I'll
One
second.
moment.
Yeah, we haven't voted.
Thought I heard that.
Okay, Ms. Clemens made a motion to approve it. Mr.
Hoffman
Hoffman made a second. Okay, now we'll call for a vote. Mr. Hoffman?
Aye.
Sonia? Aye.
No.
Aye.
Thank you.
Wait. Okay, so that's 3-1. Now we have to read the 6 points. Thank you.
Yes.
Come on, help me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Our vote was based on consideration of the following 6 items, which you know from me. The special conditions and circumstances exist which are not applicable to other lands, structures, or buildings in the applicable zoning classification, that the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant, that granting the variance requested will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the provisions of this chapter to other lands, buildings, or structures in the identical zoning classification, that literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the identical zoning classification under the provisions of this chapter, and will constitute unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant, that the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of the land, building, or structures, that granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this chapter, and that such variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare, and that is read into the record for our previous vote.
Madam Chair, just go ahead and restate the result of the vote.
So I'll
For the record.
restate the vote. Mr. Hoffman voted yes. Ms. McLeod voted yes to pass the variance. Mr. Humberg said no, and Ms. Clemens said yes. This variance has passed. Thank you.
Thank you. I can go now.
You're done now.
Thank
You're done.
You're
You're done.
released.
Mr. Bodie, can we have our next variance, please?
Yes, item H3, Thomas Dahn requests variance to Chapter 62, Article 6, Brevard County Code for an accessory structure for a proposed AU zoning classification. The parcel is currently zoned RR-1 zoning classification. The application is 25V00047, located at tax account number 2101970 in District 1. And again, this item also was tabled from the October 15th meeting.
Okay, good afternoon. May I have your name and address, please, for the record?
Thomas Dahn, 3131 Lionel Road, Mims, Florida.
Okay, how can we help you today?
I am trying to rezone to AU, and I think the setbacks are different for AU than RR1. And there's a two-car garage that was built with the original building or original house in '89, and that building is closer than the setback for AU. So I need a variance for that building.
Okay, well, District 1 is definitely my district,
Okay.
so we'll start off with the questioning. Mr. Humberg, would you like to start?
I have no questions.
No questions, Ms. Clemens?
No questions.
No questions?
No questions?
Oh, they just made it easy for me, okay. So I just want to reiterate, let me just make sure we're clear. So you're just up here today because you want to rezone
To AU.
to AU, your two-car garage, correct?
Well, the whole
Entire
property will
parcel.
get rezoned to AU, but
The entire.
from my understanding, the setbacks for AU are different than the setbacks for RR1.
That's not correct. They still
Oh.
require 15 feet for the RR1 as well as the AU for an accessory structure off their side and rear property lines.
Okay,
I do have a question.
Okay, we have one question now, thank you.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so you're getting closer to the property line in the rear of your house, is that correct? I'm looking at the photo, so I'm trying to,
so let me just start out by saying that I'm not trying to build a building.
no, I understand.
Oh, okay.
You're trying to legitimize the one that's there.
Correct.
Okay, and it's I'm looking at this photo.
Okay, yeah.
It's the one that looks like the garage.
Yeah, it's a two-car garage, yeah.
Okay. Who is behind you? I can't tell from this picture.
I honestly don't know her
Well, I don't
name.
know that, is it a pasture? Is it
It's a 5-acre lot. It's a house. It's a residential home.
Okay.
But it's a 5-acre lot. Like, her home is not close to that property line at all.
Okay.
all right, so it wouldn't impede any?
No.
Yeah. All right, no, that's my question.
Okay. Well, I have no questions, it's very clear cut.
Okay.
So we'd like to make a motion, I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry, let me check with the audience, I apologize. Is there anyone in the audience that's here to oppose or speak towards this variance? Can you come forward? Seeing none, come back, sir. Okay, anybody like to make a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the variance as depicted on the survey. All right.
Okay, Ms. Clemens, make a motion to.
Provided by the applicant with a date of 6/30/2025.
Thank you.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve by Ms. Clemens. We have a second by Mr. Humberg. And now we're gonna do the 6 points. Can you please read them for me, do you mind? For discussion. Do we have any discussion?
No discussion.
No discussion.
discussion.
Thank you.
That special conditions and circumstances exist which are not applicable to other land, structures, or buildings in the applicable zoning classification. 2, that special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. 3, that granting the variance requested will not confer to the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the provisions of this chapter or other lands, buildings, or structures in the identical zoning classification. 4, the literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the identical zoning classification under the provisions of this chapter and will constitute unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant. 5, the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible a reasonable use of the land, building, and structure. 6, that the granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this chapter, and that such variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare. You agree?
I agree.
We have a-
Sold.
We have a motion to approve by Ms. Clemens, a second by Mr. Humberg. Individual votes again.
Vote aye.
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 Your variance have passed. Thank you.
very much.
You're welcome. Can we have our next variance, please?
Yes, item H4, Michael Patrick Lamoni and Christine Nicole Quattro request variance, Chapter 62, Article 6, Brevard County Code for the fence height in an EU-2 zoning classification. Application is 25V00051, located at tax count number 3021729 in District 2.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can I have your name and address for the record, please?
Michael Lamoni, 490.
Just step into the mic.
Sure. Michael Lamoni, 4905 Hebron Drive, Merritt Island.
Okay, do you swear to tell the truth?
I do.
Thank you. How can we help you today?
Yeah. Good afternoon, members of the board. I'm here today to request a variance to increase the proposed fence height within the side street setback of my yard from 4 feet to 6 feet. Being on a corner lot, my side yard is contiguous to my neighbor's key lot that is less than 100 feet in width across their front yard. Therefore, I'm subject to a 25-foot side street setback where my fence must drop to 4 feet in height at least 25 feet from the side property line before I can continue any closer to the street. As it stands, I would not be able to extend the 6-foot fence even 2 feet past the west side of my home, therefore leaving the side yard exposed and unsecured. The hope for this variance is to erect a 6-foot fence that will not only be consistent with the rest of the neighborhood's fences, but will provide my young family with a full, usable outdoor space that promotes privacy, security, and ultimately safety. My wife and I, we welcomed our 5-month-old son into the world this past June, and we would love to provide him, along with our 1-year-old golden retriever, a yard that encourages them to play openly and freely in an environment that remains safe. I've spoken with several of my neighbors about my project, and I've obtained letters of support. I'd like to note that one of these letters is from my neighbors with the key lot, Robert and Deborah Duncan, who reside at 4863 Shannock Avenue. Mr. and Mrs. Duncan have expressed to me their full support of my fence, and I cannot be more appreciative. Along with the support from my neighbors, I want to ensure that my fence does not create any issues for motorists traversing either on Hebron Drive or Shannock Avenue. With my limited knowledge and understanding of sightline distances and sight distance triangles, I believe that my proposed fence shall not create any sight deficiencies and does satisfy minimum standards as described within FDOT's Green Book and Brevard County ordinances. My situation is rather unique within my community. While there is another corner property with a key lot behind them, this key lot does exceed the 100-foot property width rule, thus allowing the corner property to construct a 6-foot fence without any side street setbacks. The two properties are 4740 Hebron Drive and their key lot of 266 Norwich Street. While the key lot on Norwich is over 100 feet in width, the driveway placement does not seem to be taken into consideration. Using Google Maps to measure, I collected a distance of 49 feet between their driveway and the Hebron-Norwich corner lot's backyard property line. I then did the same for my situation, and I received a measurement of about 44 feet between the Duncan's driveway and my rear property line. While this distance is only a few feet less, it raises the question of if my neighbors had more property on the south side of their home that resulted in a total property width exceeding 100 feet, yet their house and driveway placement remained unchanged, then would I not have to deal with any side street setbacks for my fence? Another comparison to be made is that the other property exists along a curved roadway, which, with the existing fence, can create a blind spot for motorists traversing either direction on Norwich Street. My situation exists on a straight roadway that leads to a T intersection. There are no curves that would create similar blind spots. Finally, as many properties within my neighborhood have their side yard fence abut their sidewalk, my fence will still maintain a side street setback of a few feet to provide additional visibility for not only the Duncans, but for all their motorists too. With that, I want to thank the board for taking the time to consider my variance application and look forward to answering any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. I see we're in District 2, Ms. Clemmings.
Me? Well, I had the opportunity to visit the property, so I'm very clear about what he's requesting, and I don't see any issues at all with it or have any concerns.
Okay, Mr. Humber?
No, I'll go along with my honored colleague here. I have nothing to say.
Mr. Hoffman, any questions?
Just a quick one. You're extending the existing fence out towards the side street.
So yeah, right now we do not have a fence at all.
Fence at all.
Both my
You
key
don't
lot
have it
neighbor
up here?
and my neighbor to the east do have fences. So our plan is to enclose our entire yard. Pretty much, we worked with a contractor. He submitted the application or the permits, and that's when we discovered this setback rule. So the plan would be to fully enclose the yard and extend that 6-foot fence all the way out. Towards the
Okay, so
street.
you're putting up essentially putting up a whole new
Correct.
fence the whole distance. Okay, and you're asking for 6-foot height. I noticed that it's on the property line, which is pretty common between neighbors. You don't have a setback on that, so, okay.
Mr. Humber?
Just a quick question.
Sure.
What kind of fence is it?
It'll be a 6-foot white PVC privacy
Like
fence.
the other ones, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Okay, and I have no questions.
I'm good.
Now I'm going to check with the audience. You can just step to the side. Is there anyone here opposing or in favor of this variance? Can you come to the podium now, please? Okay, seeing none, come back. Okay, what motion would you like to make, Ms. Clemens?
I make a motion to approve the variance request as depicted on the survey provided by the applicant with the date of 8/21/2025.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Ms. Clemens to approve, a second by Mr. Humber. Now we'll read the 6 points. Would you like to read, Ms. Clemens?
Let me read.
Thank you. You got it?
I got it, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry. I really am sorry. That special conditions and circumstances exist which are not applicable to other lands, structures, or buildings in the applicable zoning classification. That the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. That granting the variance requested will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the provisions of this chapter to other lands, buildings, or structures in the identical zoning classification. That literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by properties in the identical zoning classification under the provisions of the chapter and will constitute unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant. That the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of land, building, or structure. That the granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this chapter, and that such variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve, a second. We'll do an individualized vote now.
I vote aye.
I vote aye.
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 Your variance have passed. Thank you.
Thank you. And a quick question for y'all.
Yes.
For the signage in our yard, for the variance, do I remove that? Does the county come by to remove that?
Staff
Is that a
answers.
staff question?
You can remove it.
I'm allowed to remove it? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have
Thank
to
you.
wait
Have a
till the
great
meeting
day.
was over. Just wait till you're approved now. You can remove it.
Okay, may we have our next variance, please?
Yes, item H5, Michael Gordon Lewis requests variance of Chapter 62, Article 6, Brevard County Code for a primary structure in an TR-1 zoning classification. Application is 25V00058, located at tax account number 2317375 in District 1.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
May I have your name and address for the record, please?
Michael Gordon Lewis, 1980 Admiralty Boulevard, Rockledge, Florida.
Okay, do you swear to tell the truth?
I do.
Okay, how can we help you today?
Mine's kind of simple. I just want to legitimize a mobile home, an existing mobile home that's into a setback by a foot and 1.9 feet into a setback, the side setback. If I can legitimize that, that's what we're trying to do.
Okay. Well, I see you in District 1, and that's my district.
Hello.
So we'll start off with a few questions. So again, I just heard you say you have a mobile home and it's just a setback, correct?
Yeah, the side setback, I'm a foot, I think 1.9 feet into the 7.5 foot setback.
Say that again, a little in the right. Go ahead.
I like 1.9 feet into a 7.5 foot side setback.
Okay. And this is a single-family mobile home?
Yes, it is. Yes.
And are your neighbors opposing anything
No,
with this?
no neighbors opposed. It's
No neighbors
been
opposed.
existing.
Okay. Okay, that's my question, Mr. Hum.
Is the whole property enclosed with a fence? I see that you're reducing the front.
Yeah,
to
the front's been
4 feet.
reduced. Yeah, it goes around the front. It's down to 4 feet around the front of the property.
Does a fence go around the back or just across the front?
The neighbor's fence is on the back. Every neighbor has a side of a fence, so it's one of them. It's a small little slot of the property. And everybody has a little piece of fence. I think I got half the fence. My back guy has half of the back fence.
Okay. It's a shared fence? It's a
Yes.
shared
Yeah,
fence?
yes.
Okay.
Mr. Humber?
No.
No
I'm
questions?
good.
Ms.
No
Clemens?
questions.
No questions.
Okay. Any more questions from you? Okay. Now, let me just ask the audience, just step to the side for a moment. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to this variance, either yay or nay? Seeing none, come back. Okay, who'd like to make the motion for me?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the variance as depicted on the survey provided by the applicant with the revision date of 8/25/2025.
Okay, we have approval by Ms. Clemens. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Mr. Hoffman, second. Okay. Ms. Clemens, can you read the 6 points for me,
Oh,
please?
yes, I apologize, I'm checking out. That the special conditions and circumstances exist which are not applicable to other lands, structures, or buildings in the applicable zoning classification. That the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. That granting the variance requested will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the provisions of this chapter to any other lands, buildings, structures in the identical zoning classification. That the literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter would deprive the applicants of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the identical zoning classification under the provisions of this chapter and will constitute unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant. That the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of the land, building, or structure. That the granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this chapter, and that such variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Ms. Clemens, and we have a second by Mr. Hoffman. We'll do an individualized vote.
I vote aye.
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 Okay, and just to make sure that we're clear, we're doing it depicted by the survey of what date?
8/25/2025?
Okay, thank you. Your variance have been approved.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Our next variance, please.
Yes, item H6, Robert and Levenia G. Nieman request 6 variances, Chapter 62, Article 6, Brevard County Code for an accessory structure with the lot width and the lot size in a GU zoning classification. Application is 25V00060, located at tax account number 956 in District 1.
Okay, good afternoon. Can you state for the record your name and address, please?
It's Robert Nieman, 4445 Seneca Avenue, Cocoa, Florida.
Okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth?
I do.
Okay, how can we help you?
Uh,
I'm sorry, are you coming up with him?
Hopefully not.
Oh, you can have a seat then. Okay, go ahead,
That's what I
sir.
do. This past August, we put our home on the market. And
This past August, you did what?
we put our home on the market.
Okay,
And we accepted an offer, and during the buyer's due diligence, their mortgage agent realized that it was zoned. It didn't meet the site requirements for the zoning that it was in. So our realtor talked to George Ritchie in the planning office, and their decision was to apply for a variance for the width and depth of the lot. So in the process of doing that, in working with Ms. Desiree Jackson.
you're just speaking to the mic so I can hear you, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Sorry.
Well, you could pull it,
Okay.
yeah, touch it.
Look at that, it comes right to me. Working with Ms. Jackson in submitting the paperwork, she asked that we add a couple more items based on the survey.
Okay,
So we worked through that and added, and at the end, it came up to 6 total variances.
so we have 6 variances.
Right. So the lot size in one of the metal buildings was that way when we bought the property in 1999. And it wasn't brought up then, so we were a little confused as to why it wasn't brought up then, but accepted. And if you look at the lot plan for that area, there are several lots that would be non-compliant, apparently, because none of those will meet the restrictions. The workshop on the south side of the property, we had installed a year after we moved in by a local company out of Melbourne. They did the entire thing, so we had no idea that it was out of compliance, and no reason to believe so, because we paid them to do it. The last variance was recommended by Ms. Jackson after looking at the survey, and that's not a permanent structure. It's actually like a temporary thing that you would put up. It's not mounted to the ground or anything like that. It's just a tarp on a metal frame. It's a big metal frame, but it's still, it can be moved. When I brought that up with Mr. Ritchie, he agreed that it wasn't a structure, but he said, well, I would just move it if I were you. I said, well, I've already submitted it based on the recommendations from the office, so I don't know what to do with that right now.
Okay,
And we've already moved, so we're up in the Panhandle now, so it's,
so you moved and left this premises, correct?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now you're here to ensure that it's legitimized, is that what you're trying to do?
Yes, ma'am, they can't actually close. We've had a
On the
contract
home.
now for
Okay.
4 months. They can't
Okay.
close until the zoning issue
Okay,
is taken care of.
okay. Would you like to start off with the questioning? Mr. Hoffman?
Yeah, it appears to me that, there's a 5-acre lot size, and we're cutting it down to 1 acre. I think that's just an old zoning regulation that applied or was changed after this property was developed. Same thing goes with the lot widths. I think this is just legitimizing something that went out of compliance once the zoning regulations changed later. Same with probably a lot of these setbacks and stuff. So since the property's been there and nobody's complaining, I just don't see any problems with it. I'm pretty sure that your buyer's in favor of all of these changes to the,
Well, it's in the contract for all the structures that are on the property. And there's no advantage to being GU versus any of the other zoning restrictions. You know, everybody out in Canaveral Groves either has a bunch of toys or livestock if you drive through the neighborhood. So they appreciate the quietness about it.
So this is in Cocoa. Is it downtown Cocoa?
No, sir, it's actually in Canaveral Groves.
On the island or?
If you look
look at the map.
north of 528.
It's
and,
north of 528?
East of 95.
Yeah, okay, it's in a very rural area. Okay, no more questions.
Okay. Mr. Humberg?
Oh, I have a couple, if you don't mind.
Sure.
How long have you been in the house?
A little over 26 years.
Have you created any additional structures on the lot during that period?
We've rebuilt some stuff and moved the pool. It was an above-ground pool when we bought the house.
So you put the pool in, right?
No,
No?
we just moved it.
Oh, you just moved it,
Yep.
okay. And nothing else on the lot
Well, he did the
where you had to get a
structure.
permit or
2000.
anything?
Well, I said we had the workshop. We purchased that from a Melbourne company off of Sarno, long since gone out of business, and they installed it as part of the purchase. And then we bought that temporary shelter for boats and put that on the lot, but it's not anchored to anything.
So nothing has happened over the span of your lifetime in this lot where you needed a permit or had to change any variance
Not
or
that I'm
anything?
aware of.
No?
No.
So everything was like it is when you bought it, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
No, the front building is what you added in 2000, correct?
Correct.
That's the building.
The
added.
trees have gotten a lot bigger.
Now, that was my question.
That's not
Why
permitted.
wasn't this addressed then?
There just wasn't a permit pulled for
I
that structure.
Doesn't
I
matter.
really have
Somebody
no
must
idea.
have
Like I say,
looked
we bought it, and installation was part of the package, and
Okay.
we've just been using it.
All right, thank you.
Same, that was my question. What's that?
That was your, what was your?
My question was whether the structure was permitted that he added in 2000. And clearly it wasn't. There's no open code violations or anything?
No, there
I
isn't.
don't see
Okay.
any. Okay, so I'm gonna just reiterate, bear with me, 6 requests. And this is the backyard, correct?
That's the entire,
That's your
Lot,
entire
yes.
lot, all of this. You
That's-
have
that's-
moved off the premises.
that's looking north, yes, ma'am.
That's
We
looking
moved-
north. And all you're trying to do now is help the buyers who's trying to buy this property,
Yes, ma'am.
legitimize the zoning. Okay.
You currently have a contract on the house, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah, we've been extending it, waiting for this meeting to occur.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, who'd like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve this application, all 6 requests within one motion, as depicted on the survey dated,
9/3.
is it what, 9/3/25?
2005.
2005.
2005.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table.
Did we
So-
check
I'm
with
sorry?
the audience?
I'm sorry?
Did we check?
I'm gonna poll them right now.
Okay.
Okay. But I was just gonna say, we had a motion on the table by Mr. Hoffman and a second by Ms. Clemmings. Okay, now can you step to the side for me, please? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak towards this variance for yay or nay? Anyone? Seeing none, come back. Again, I'll just repeat. We have a motion on the table to approve by Mr. Hoffman, a second, that's Ms. Clemmings, correct? You seconded, Ms. Clemmings? And now we'll
Oh,
read
there
this.
There is the opposing letter here.
Okay, hold on. We do have an opposing letter from, and is that a neighbor on that opposing letter? Is the neighbor here by chance? But no one came up.
No, ma'am.
No, nobody came up.
That's all right, they sent a letter.
Yeah.
So we'd just like to put that in the record, that we have an opposing letter. Okay, any discussion? Okay, we have a discussion now.
And I have a discussion.
Okay.
The crux of this, as I'm reading it real quickly here, seems to be the temporary structure. It looks like a canvas structure on,
Yes, sir.
is it possible for that to be removed? Or is that part of your sale?
Well, it's in the contract, so I'd have to talk to the buyer to confirm that. It is absolutely possible for it to be removed.
You said it wasn't nailed down or anything?
No, it's just mounted to railroad ties, sitting on the ground.
I would want to take that into consideration.
But my confusion is, I just saw that this morning.
Oh.
We've been neighbors with them for 20 years. And this is the first time I've had any negative interaction with them regarding that structure. It could have easily been resolved when we discussed us moving 5 months ago.
I'd like to amend my motion.
Okay.
Hasn't been cleared yet.
Well, I still want to amend what I'm putting. I would like to remove approval of the temporary canvas structure and the adjacent shed, which they're also, which you said was not permitted.
That
originally.
adjacent shed was part of the purchase when we bought the house
No,
26 years ago.
That's fine, but it was never
It was
permitted.
there when they built their house. They built their house after we moved in. It was a vacant lot when we moved in.
Oh, the neighbors that are complaining.
Yes, sir. And it's just a lawnmower shed, so I'm really confused as to why it's such a big deal now.
Sounds like you need a fence,
There's a chain link fence there,
a privacy fence.
which we listen to
Sorry.
their dogs through, yes.
Okay, so let's discuss this one more moment.
Yeah.
So this neighbor's opposing because of this structure, right? They're saying it's been in their view, it's ugly, you know, they can't see, blah, blah. So my question to you, before we go further, could you remove that?
We could have it removed, yes.
Are you willing to do that?
I am.
Oh,
do
I see
need-
some hesitation.
No, no,
What
I
is it?
just need to notify the buyer, which I have
Okay.
a signed contract with.
Okay.
That it's part of that contract.
Oh, they want this?
Well, they wanted everything that we were
Oh,
leaving.
that you had, okay,
So.
gotcha. Okay, so how does that work, legal? Can we put that in our motion, or what?
You can. He may have to amend his contract.
Okay.
But you can, and I don't know which variance that was, but
Yeah, I may need some help on identifying which of these 6 are related to the shed and the canvas structure.
Darcie?
There's 2 of them on the north side that was stated. And then there's 2 of them on the south side that had variances. So it's the ones 2 to the north that have the neighbor upset.
Then I'm just, when I make my motion, I want to say we're approving 1, 2, 3, 6, but not 4 or 5. Trying to figure out which one the canvas,
It'd be
What
5
we
and
wanna
6.
remove.
5 and
yeah,
6.
5 and 6 are the ones that,
Okay, so it's the
Which-
5th and the 6th?
Which one are, so the little shed it's mounted
Yes.
on a foundation.
which.
Variances 5 and 6 are the ones on the north.
That are in question here.
Yes.
Okay.
But which
So you
one
could-
of those is the
So 2 structures
sphere.
abutting the sphere and the other
correct? But-
shed.
But if he wants
That's
to single out the sphere, the temporary structure,
Those are
which number is
the
that?
2, number 5 and number 6 variance requests,
Okay.
is what it is.
It gets a little bureaucratic.
So is it this picture, correct?
My
The
guess
other
would be-
ones, number 3 and number 4, are for the south
Okay.
side setback, street setback.
I would say number 6 is for the dome.
Should be, because that's the last thing that Ms. Jackson
Well, it's the
added for me.
closest to the property line.
So
Do
let
you
me-
have any, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what the buyer's plan is for that dome?
Go ahead. Oh, well, apparently they have a Jeep that they plan to park in there.
Do they plan on recovering it with a new tarp?
I don't know that.
Should I
Go
make
for
a
it.
motion?
Yes.
Okay.
And just for clarification, you know, removal is not at issue. It's just a question that you're potentially not going to approve those two variances. Now, your buyer now has a potential problem if they don't want to remove them. They'd either have to come back before the board or, you know, address it in some manner, so.
Would that be a enforcement?
Well, now that it's on record that there is a,
So
you know,
it
an
could be handled
issue
with
that
enforcement.
hasn't been resolved by variance, yeah, it's a potential code enforcement
Yeah.
issue.
So they can handle it that
The
way?
future buyer would not be able to apply for the same variances as you are. You'd have to apply for different variances and setbacks. You cannot apply for the same variances.
Good to know. So what's the solution?
So at this point, you know, you're considering whether to approve or not approve the variances as presented. Now, if 5 and 6, you know, you want to reject, then you'll have to make your motion,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
understand.
specific to the other 4.
I'll
But
specify.
like I said, we're not addressing removal. It's just approve or not approve as presented.
Okay. All right. I'll make a motion that we approve variance request numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, and do not, within the same motion, do not approve items 5 and 6 within this variance application, the partial approvals as depicted on the survey dated 9/3/05? Okay.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I second. I agree with
Okay.
that.
And I lost track. Did we check with the audience if there's any
Oh,
comments?
let me,
We did.
yeah, I did check with the audience, but let me recheck. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak to this variance, nay or yea? Seeing none, come back. We have the letter of disapproval. And that came from a neighbor. Richard and Celine Bruns. Okay, so we have a motion on the table to approve variance number 1, 2, and 3, to disapprove 1, 2, 3, 4, to disapprove 5 and 6. We have a second by Ms. Clemens. Individualized vote. Mr. Hoffman,
I vote yes,
for 1, 2, 3, 4.
the motion as presented, which is
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, rejecting 5 and 6.
Okay. I agree with that, ditto.
I have a question before. I think it's mostly for you. This is kind of a catch-22 here. I mean, if you really read this, either one, if we deny it, cancels out the entire variance, because this is like a set variance, one big variance with 6A through G that this gentleman needs to go to a closing. Now, if we cancel one or we disregard one, it cancels the entire 6 of them.
I'm not following your logic.
So yours,
I'm saying any of these variances for this gentleman, these 6 together make one. If you cancel one with inside the 6, all of them are no good to this gentleman.
No, that's
No,
not
that's
true.
not
You're approving 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're not approving 5 and 6, which are setback distances to the north 2 accessory structures.
Each variance stands alone.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, right?
I do
Yeah.
understand
So,
it,
yeah,
but
that's
I
not
don't
true
know
at
that-
all.
Well, you're
but-
not saying it correctly then, that it cancels all of them.
No, you don't understand what, forget it, just leave it go, and I'll vote no for it.
So wait, let me ask you this. And I know you said leave it go. So are you saying he cannot sell his house because we're denying two of them? Is that what you're thinking? Is that your thinking
You
and
have to ask
rationale?
him
But
that.
it depends on, I have no understanding of variance. So it depends on the interpretation of a single variance,
Exactly.
sorry, with denials. And
I
again,
think
I
the
have no
biggest
background in
thing
it.
was the lot size. The loan mortgage company did not want to loan money to something that was not meeting the zoning requirements for the lot size, and it is not a non-conforming lot. And then these other structures came up on it whenever he was applying for the variance and noticed that they did not meet setbacks, so they needed to be taken care of also during the same application because they show up on the survey that was provided, not meeting setbacks.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
No, we read it after.
No,
We read it after.
No, before.
no, we were still trying to go down the motion, see if everybody approved of this.
That's why you read them before.
Okay,
Whichever way you want. No, that's fine. It's just a minor point.
okay. So Mr. Humberg?
No.
You, no?
No.
Disapprove? Okay, Ms. Clemens?
I approve variance requests 1 through 4 and deny 5 and 6.
Okay. Now we're gonna read the 6 points.
Want me to do that?
Yeah,
I'll
thank
take
you.
care of that. That special conditions and circumstances.
Excuse me, did you get a second on that?
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah, Ms. Clemens.
Ms. Clemens was the second. Yes,
Okay,
correct?
thank you.
You had a
Yes.
second.
Yes. That special conditions and circumstances exist which are not applicable to other lands, structures, or buildings in the applicable zoning classification. That the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. That granting the variance requested will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the provisions of this chapter to other lands, buildings, or structures in the identical zoning classification. That literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the identical zoning classification under provisions of this chapter and will constitute unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant. That the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of land, building, or structure. That the granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this chapter, and that such variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to public welfare.
And after hearing those 6 points, I want to reiterate that we have a motion on the floor to approve this variance for variance 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's been approved by Mr. Hoffman, Ms. McLeod, and Ms. Clemens. It's been disapproved by Mr. Humberg. He voted no. Am I correct? Say yes?
Yes.
Okay. So this variance passed.
Did everyone vote, or did you just have discussion?
We had a discussion, and I was summing up how everybody voted.
Well,
So we're
that's
gonna
why
do
I didn't-
individualized vote now.
Okay.
Mr.
I may
Hoffman.
have just missed it, but I didn't hear
That's
everyone
okay, go ahead. We'll do it
cast
again for
their
the
vote.
record. Mr. Hoffman, say it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, you approve?
Yeah, I approve the motion that says 1 through 4 and denies 5 and 6.
I approve the motion for 1, 2, 3, 4. I deny 5 and 6.
No for all of them.
I make a motion to approve 1 through 4 and deny 5 and 6.
This variance have passed for 1, 2, 3, 4, and been denied for 5 and 6. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. Mr. Brody, our next one, please.
yes, and there's no R in my name.
I'm sorry, am I saying an R? What did I say? Oh, Bodie.
That's
Am I saying it
okay.
wrong?
Item
Same
H7,
comments, wrong.
Laughing Clown LLC requests 2 variances, Chapter 62, Article 6, Brevard County Code, for a principal structure and an accessory structure in a proposed BU-1-A zoning classification. The parcel is currently zoned RP zoning, and this is variance application 25V00064, located at tax account number 2806925 in District 5.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Clayton Bennett.
Your address, please?
4940 Ranch Lane Road, Melbourne, Florida, 32934.
And do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Are you going to speak as well?
I don't know if I need to.
Okay, put your name for the record and your address, please.
My name's Stephen Kelly. My address is 3775 Heald Road, Melbourne, Florida.
Okay, do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Present your case, please.
Yes, we're here today to request two variances, and they're for side setbacks, and it's associated with a property that's in the process of being rezoned. The owner of the property had initially...
Just a little louder in the mic, please.
Sure. The owner of the property originally understood and was conveyed from the zoning department that retail use was permitted. They spent money renovating the property, ready to open, and found out that no, that the zoning wasn't allowed. They were issued a business tax receipt, so they operated on moving forward with that retail sale. But the county's come back and said that no, general retail is not permitted within the RP zoning, and so we filed for an application to go with the BU1A zoning. The property is on Minton Road. This is a major roadway, that north-south roadway there in the West Melbourne, Palm Bay area. You would expect that there would be, more of a business use along a this type of roadway. A few things that I'd like to point out on the particular property there on the zoning is one is the variances to legitimize the existing structures that are there, one being the main principal structure that's along the south property line. And the reason why that's needed is the setback changes from the RP zoning to the BU1A zoning. And so setback variance is needed there. And along the south property line there is an existing wood fence that does provide for a buffer. I'd like to also point out that the entrance to the building is up towards the middle, north there is, you're not going to have retail coming around the side to enter. The other variance is for the back. There's a shed back there, and it doesn't meet this required setback for the BU1A setback for the side setback. But there's a existing power pole there, so it can't really slide south. That there's the power pole obstructing that. So we're seeking those two variances. The owner's here, and I'm going to let him speak a little bit, kind of give him the history of how we got to this point, and that this wasn't a self-created type of variance issue.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
I have a photo of the side of the house. You can see my bald spot from that TV.
No, but where's the picture? We can't see the picture.
I put it right. Do I have to hit something? There.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So there's already a 6-foot fence there. And I also, I have no issue with putting shrubs or anything up as well, if that would help as well. The history of this property is, I live off of Heald Road, and I own a couple properties on Heald Road. I also own a local business, an air conditioning business, in Brevard County. I was born here. I bought this property 3 years ago because it was a good deal. And it was a doctor's office before that. So it was a doctor's office for a little over 20 years with the parking lot and everything. So I bought it. We did a little renovation on it, and then we put it on the market. And I have a 21-year-old son who I've done everything with since he was born. As we know, children come into our lives, they kind of change the course of everything. So he came to me while this property was on sale, and we actually had a full price offer on the table. And he said, "Dad, let's open up a card store and vintage toys," because it's something that growing up he's always done with me. I did with my grandfather, so it's just one of those things. So I said, "That's a great idea. Let me call the county." So I called the county and I spoke to the front desk. I believe his name's Jim or James. He sits up front there and he helps. Super helpful guy. And I spoke to him on the phone, and I told him what I wanted to do. And he said, "Yeah, you should be good with that. Just turn in your paperwork for your business retail tax receipt. So we turned it in, and we waited. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a two weeks of sweating it out because you don't know what's gonna say. So we were awarded this business tax receipt. So at that point, we proceeded to buy product, buy alarm systems, camera systems. And when I mean product, I mean we filled that place with product. So we spent a substantial amount of money. And after about a month of running like this with an opening date, we'd had signs out front and everything. All of a sudden, I get a phone call from I don't even know if it was from zoning or whether it was from the licensing board, but they called the tax receipt, whoever gave me the tax receipt. I think the last lady's name I spoke to was Alice. And she said, we made a mistake. You need to close your business. And I said, hold on a second. I said, we didn't make a mistake. I said, people make mistakes all the time. I do it every day. I'm as imperfect a human being as can get. I said, but we need to come up with a remedy to this. And she said, if you say you live there because Mr. DeSantis passed some law during COVID, you can operate your retail business out of it, and we can't prove you don't live there. And I said, okay. And she said, but you'll hear back from me. So a month went by, and I heard nothing. And we continued to move forward. We had social media. We were getting ready to open. So I just assumed I was left alone on it. Nobody revoked my retail tax receipt or anything. At that point, we get a phone call from I think it was John, or I can't think of his name, but he was the actual inspector, code enforcement guy. So I call him because my son was there and he was kind of in a panic, and I call him and he says, hey, you can't do this. You gotta have the zoning changed. You have a complaint. And so at this point, as you can imagine, we've invested a lot of time. We've invested a lot of resources. And to be quite honest with you, it's been an emotional thing, a ride. The other business I own, it's Florida Breeze Air Conditioning. I have over 100 employees. I've been here in Brevard County open for 17 years. So I'm very familiar. We pull lots of permits. We do a lot of stuff. So I'm very familiar with a lot of things. So to me, this was a shock because I'm not going to lie to you. I love my county. If you go out to my Jeep, it says Brevard County. On the license plate, it doesn't say Sunshine State because my mom was born here in '54. My grandparents moved up here from West Palm after the war. So to me, this was the first. It's been very unpleasant. It's been very tough, and we want to help be part of the community. My other company sponsors all the local schools in the Melbourne area, and even all the way up here into Vieira. So we're very involved in the community. My wife was a teacher for 14 years at Meadow Lane. I retired her basically because she's smarter than me. And as my business became more successful, I said, I'm going to mess this up if I don't have the brains of this operation, in here with it. So that's just a little bit about me. I know it's bigger than that. I get it, but that's just how we ended up here. This wasn't me maliciously setting out to buy a building, put a business in it, not ask any questions, and just roll forward and think that I could do whatever I wanted.
So thank you for giving us the backstory. We appreciate that. So this is in District 3. Mr. Hoffman.
District 5.
I'm sorry, District 5.
Okay, your glasses.
That's my
I
glasses,
know.
sorry.
I didn't stop, but I drive by that property almost every day. Not in the 5 to 7 traffic. You need signage.
Yeah.
I'm going to make almost a joke. You put up the wrong picture. You should have put up no. You should have put up the picture of 3 or 4 properties that are right adjacent to it, because what you have is exactly what is in that row of businesses to be recycled at this point.
Yes.
But I looked and saw the configuration of your setbacks and stuff, and there's nothing here that's in variance with anything else in that neighborhood. And you answered my first question was, what is Laughing Cow?
Laughing Clown is so my business.
You answered it.
I want to tell you.
Okay.
So my business is life is about moments and humor. Right. So have you ever? My business is owned by an LLC called Idiocracy. That was a movie that came out 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. That's actually where Crocs came from, was Idiocracy. Mm-hmm. So Laughing Clown, when we were trying to do the LLC, one of our favorite actors is Will Ferrell, and one of our favorite movies is Talladega Nights. his first sponsor of his first race car was Laughing Clown Malt Liquor. So that's where Laughing Clown came from. Had I known it was getting up in front of a variance board, I would absolutely not have named it Laughing Clown, because you guys got to be like, what is going on here? But that's where Laughing Clown came from. We just try to be different and funny.
You'll have a niche name. No, you answered all the questions that I needed to ask when you did your presentation.
Okay.
So, no more questions than that.
Okay. I have no questions.
Nope.
Ms. Clemens?
No questions.
Okay, let me just see if there's anybody here in the audience to oppose or to speak towards this. Yea or nay? Come back. Mr. Hoffman, would you like to make a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that we accept both variance items 1 and 2 for these side setbacks as depicted on the survey, oh my goodness, dated
6:30.
6:30.
6:30. I can see that.
6/30/25.
Okay. So we have a second.
I second.
Okay. Can we read the 6
Any
points?
other discussion?
Any other discussion?
Nope.
Did we ask the audience?
We did.
I asked the audience
Okay.
already.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I'll be happy to read them.
6 questions. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, in considering your vote, the board members should consider these following 6 items. That special conditions and circumstances exist which are not applicable to other land, structures, or buildings in the applicable zoning classification. That the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. That granting the variance requested will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the provisions of this chapter to other lands, buildings, or structures in the identical zoning classification. That literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the identical zoning classification under the provisions of this chapter, and will constitute unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant. That the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of the land, building, or structure. That the granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this chapter, and that such use variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve by Mr. Hoffman, a second by Ms. Clemmings. We'll do individualized votes. Mr. Hoffman?
I vote aye.
I vote aye.
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 Your variance have passed. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go cry in the parking lot. Thanks.
Good
No,
cues.
laugh.
And Mr. Bodie, please excuse me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Mr. Bodie?
That's okay.
Bodie.
Okay, Bodie. Our next one, please.
Yes, item number 8, Richard W. and Rita B. Green request 5 variances of Chapter 62, Article 6, Brevard County Code for an existing principal structure and a proposed principal structure and an accessory structure in an RU-2-10 zoning classification, applications 25V 00065, located at tax account number 2435779 in District 2.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My
May-
question was answered that 2 people can come up at the same time.
Okay, can you both state your name for the record and your address, and then I'll swear you both in.
I'm Rita Green, and my address is 2680 Rocky Point Road, Malabar.
Okay, and sir? Right into the mic, please.
The name is Richard W. Green, the same address, 2680 Rocky Point, Malabar, Florida.
Okay, do you both swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
We do.
Thank you so much. How can we help you today?
Well, I'd like to give a little timeline.
Okay.
My husband says I give too much history, but this house at 226 McKinley has been in the family since 1968. In 1968, my former husband and I bought the house. We raised 5 daughters there, and in 1995, when we divorced, he retained ownership of the house, and I turned over custody of the house to him. In 2023, He passed away, and his wife, he had remarried. His wife at the time did not want to remain in the house. My 5 daughters, who grew up there on McKinley Avenue, were really not wanting to let go of the property. So they made an offer, and it was accepted to their stepmother to buy her out in the house. They live in the states of Virginia, Arizona, where else? Montana, and even one here in Orlando. So they wanted to retain the house as a place they could come and visit and be here. They determined that they would set it up as an Airbnb to be able to do that. And when we weren't there, in order to have maintenance going on and have the house be used, they set it up to do Airbnb, which they began in about 2024 and have been doing that for about a year. After a year, they realized they really couldn't maintain it with the 5 daughters. 2 of them took financial responsibility for it, and they've all got big family or growing families. They have responsibilities, they live elsewhere, and they came to us and asked us, would we be able to help them retain ownership of this house? We said, sure. We didn't say sure right away, but eventually we said sure. And we took ownership in August of this year. The girls had talked about making an adjustment, changing out the former garage into an additional ADU. And when we talked about it and took ownership, we said, that's not a bad idea. I don't know how many of you have 5 daughters with families, but when 5 daughters have families and they grow, you put them in a house together, you really want to live somewhere else. So we said, why don't we take the shop building, which has been there since I first saw the property in 1968, and turn it into an ADU, because this property is zoned RU210. And we began to look at the plans and plan for that. When we started down and we actually took ownership in August and started to look at how we are going to make that happen, my husband contacted to get building permits. And that's when we said, well, you have to go to zoning first. And it wasn't until July. No, actually, we took ownership August 8th, and August 11th, we sat down with Desiree Jackson, and then Desiree opened our eyes to all the things we needed to do as far as zoning permits. One of the 5 variances had to do with the distance from the street to the front of the house. It hadn't changed in 60 years. There's no additional structures, but that may have been grandfathered because they put in a paved road on McKinley Avenue, and now it's 6 inches short of the 26-foot setback, 25-foot setback. Every other structure on that property has been there for 16 years or more. There was a roof extension over from the carport over a patio on the side. In my packet, there are pictures that show that extension was done in 2009. I wasn't there. I don't know anything about it. I don't know if they got it permitted, but they extended that roof out over a patio. The building that is a shop, when I moved in there, it was a shop. It was a nice building. It was being used as a shop. It was a bigger building that currently exists on the property. In 2008 or 9, they tore down the building because of storm damage and rebuilt it. And they left the pad on the end and put a storage shed there. And then when we looked at extending the building, we said, you know, if that building was as long as it originally was, it would be the right size for this ADU. So we started to look at that. We took the roof off of the storage room and extended the roof out over that. We got ahead of ourselves, we admit. We got ahead of ourselves a little bit because we hadn't done this kind of project. And we were looking more at what was going on over the years on the property, and the place looks better now than it has ever looked in 60 years.
Okay.
So that's what we're here for today, to talk about these variances. I know that we had some objections. I know we had an objection that we've just received today from the Cleveland Avenue Condo Association back there. And they had lodged a complaint about work going on in the back. There's a fence line between us and them. It's their fence, it's on our property. And they complained about the work being attached to the fence and sent us a notice in August. We responded immediately, said, we'll take it down, we'll repair the fence. But you do know your fence is on our property. We also started to work on a shed building to move stuff from the shop to get ready to work on the ADU. And we had a guy come in to do some work to make this shed building. He got over enthusiastic about trying to fit everything from the shop into the shed. And we thought that we had a limited shed going up that would allow us to not have to file for a building permit. He did a bigger building, and we do need a building permit for that. So that is the last two of our variances are for that shed that we've added on back there. The others all have to do with turning that into a building where we can go up there and stay when the daughters are visiting without having to be in the house. I really don't want to move back in that house, so I'd like to go and visit with the family when they're here.
Okay.
Can
Thank you for
may
that.
I just,
Oh, yes, sir.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
ask something? I would like to say, when we got notified by the county relative to what we had done, which was tied to the condo association in the back, I immediately contacted that person, and I have the letter here, what have you, from a woman, and I said, look, we did this, and we required the builder to make sure that they stayed within the square footage of not requiring a permit, just so we can move all this stuff out. I said, however, rather than go forward with any other action, we are already in discussions with zoning, because we thought we would just go and ask for building permits, found out that we had to go to zoning, naive, went to zoning to Desiree, and then we got into all these variants of the existing structures having all these setback requirements. It started out with 3, wound up with 8, then it came back down to 7. They've corrected that and said one of the setbacks is not an issue. So the problem is relative to that, the county citation or whatever you call it. My immediate action was to respond. My immediate action said, there's no sense me doing anything till I find out what zoning's truly requiring. And at that point in time, whatever we have to do to make sure we're in compliance, we're doing it. But we are not outside of building the shed. We are only utilizing the existing structures. We are not changing the configuration, the dimensions, anything else. And that required a so-called ADU, which we didn't realize at the time. Okay. So just wanted to add that.
So thank you. Before we go any further, I'd just like to say, I know this is in District 2, correct? Ms. Clemens, but Mr. Bodie, I just would like to say, just help me out here. I see on the paper, I have down 5 variants, and then on this other paper it says 7. So How many variances is there? I'm only.
There's 5 different
It's
variances.
5, not
Yes.
7.
Yes,
Okay, so someone did y'all notice that? Wrote in 7 variants down here. Did y'all see that? Or did anybody read it?
That's
or-
in the script.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're dealing with 5 today. I want to point that out. Ms. Clemens, you could start in your district, please.
So you keep referring to this shed. Is that the shed that was installed in 2025?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a shed. The bigger building.
That is soon to be turned into an ADU.
No, the bigger building is the shop or you can call it a shop or a garage because that's really about the size of it.
We're taking that existing structure and making it into the ADU for our personal use, not part of the Airbnb system.
I just want to make sure I understand. This is the structure that you're referring to as the shop,
Yes,
correct?
correct.
And then there are 2 additional sheds that were installed January of 2025.
No,
One.
one
Just one.
in August.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we had when we got into the discussions with zoning is our daughter, who had bought the house, for all of what my wife explained, had a survey done. And at that point, because we weren't making the conversion to the ADU, there was no issues of that survey. So we took the survey, got a hold of a copy of it, but in trying to get it into zoning relative to setbacks, the stamp couldn't come through electronically, and there was a bunch of stuff relative to the survey, which then would point out all these setbacks. So then we had to go back, and we went back to the survey company that did the survey and said, look, Desiree had asked that one of the dimensions missing was the existing carport, or extended carport, to the property on the west side, which has been there for years and years and years, has no dimension on the drawing. So we had to get the survey then to come back and measure that distance from that carport extension that's been there since 2010.
What year was that survey done?
Sorry?
What's the
This
year?
year.
This year the survey was done?
We did it during this time span that we did the
And is that
closing.
before or after the addition of the shed?
It was, the original that we got that we were submitting was pre the shed.
But you were
The
moving in
one
the
that I did
direction.
after included the shed. So what you see in the survey that we submitted, that in turn, the stamps could be shown, and that got into a whole fiasco mess of that. That does show the shed that we built in 2025 and the setbacks. And that was
So you're
part
saying
of the
there's 2
variance.
surveys?
Huh?
So you're saying there's 2 surveys now?
No.
You claimed your daughter did a survey.
Yes, 2 years ago, the survey was done, but in doing that survey, according to Desiree, you had to get the variances for the setbacks. The setback conditions that have existed for
I
2
understand
decades.
that part. I'm not confused about that part.
So we had to go back, because she wanted that dimension from the original, for the extended carport to the neighbor on the west, we had to go back and get a whole new survey for that dimension.
Well, you had to get a new survey because you added an accessory structure that wasn't supposed to be
No.
there.
And
No.
No, it wasn't done that.
That wasn't the reason we did the survey.
Go ahead.
And let me try and clarify. We tried, when we first went in to talk with Desiree, we brought a survey that our daughter had done when she bought the property in 2023. There were missing things on that in our conversation with Desiree, so we went back to the survey company. They did an additional survey. You should only have one in the package, and it was the final survey that we had done. When we brought the new survey into Desiree, She still was missing one dimension. So we went back and got the surveyor out there one more time, and what's in your package should be that third survey that shows we did add the shed out in the back, but it now had all the dimensions she was looking for, and that's what we submitted.
Was the need to go see Desiree for the original request for the ADU, or you had already?
No, yes, for the original request for the ADU.
Is that out of reaction, or was that out
No,
of?
we went to building by phone call to get permits.
Did you move forward on the ADU without permission from the county?
Yes, I actually did.
Okay.
What we started with was just finding ways inside of the building to clear it out and try to look at what we were going to do with it. But yes, we did start on it.
Is the property currently occupying or operating as an Airbnb?
The house is, yes.
What's the size of the front of the house?
The size of the lot.
The front of the house.
The main home?
It is 5 bedrooms, and I'm not sure about the square footage.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. We've provided that all in the surveys and the documents that we submitted.
Square footage isn't on the survey. Okay.
It is under 2,600 square feet, I think.
I think it's, yeah, down to 2,000 or something.
I know one of the processes we had to go through was how much land
I
was
understand.
available, and we were well within that limit. We had 40% even with the
With the ADU.
with the ADU.
Yeah, all the
Is that
guidelines.
accurate?
Yeah, I did the calculations, make sure that they had enough square footage of the property for 2 units they do, and also it wasn't over the 40%.
So the ADU they're requesting falls within the guidelines for the county?
No, that's one of the things they're needing setbacks for. It doesn't meet the side setback
The
of
setbacks,
7.5.
but not the size.
Pardon?
The setbacks, they need the variance, but not the size, like.
Not the size, no. They meet that requirement. They also needed a separation distance, supposed to be 15 feet between principal structures.
Okay.
And it's 9.9.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the full length of the 2 structures, but one portion of the structures overlap.
Final question, do you have plans to use the ADU as an Airbnb as well?
No,
No, it is
it's strictly for us.
it's for us to be able to go up there. For the main house, if we want to go up there, because the way we and the daughters have agreed to set this up as a Airbnb, and everybody has different opinions about how clean their clean is. So we've said anybody who goes in there is going to have to pay the cleaning fees. We don't
Goes in
want
where?
any family arguments on the main house. If they're using the main house, and the daughters do, they come and visit in the summer. Sometimes they were here in October.
That's fine, but that doesn't apply, so I
But they pay
appreciate
the
it.
cleaning fees. We said, we don't want to go up there because we have a home in Brevard County. We want to go up there and be able to stay near the beach. We said, we would like to use that ADU for us when we go up there. So we would use the ADU as our, and then we're not going to pay a big cleaning fee because it's our house.
Okay, any more questions,
And
Ms.
you're-
Clemens?
No.
Okay, Mr. Hoffman?
Yes. We're talking here about setbacks and square footage of buildings and stuff, and a lot of these letters of oppose and support are talking about the use of the building rather than the location of it on the property, and so I'm kind of discounting a little bit of that. I am looking at the pictures and also the survey and trying to determine the one side structure to the, let me look at this, well, I can't tell from the survey. I guess it's to the west. Yeah. The one structure looks like it comes up near to the fence line, and that was one of the setback issues
On the house or the ADU?
on the house.
On the house?
If you go in the driveway, there is a cover and a shed, and that shed looks like it's close to the property line,
Yes.
which is one of the variances.
I refer to that as the extended carport.
Okay, the extended carport. What is the carport? Because when I look at the survey, it says covered and covered. Makes it look like two separate structures.
It's not two separate structures. Again, this was all existing things for
Understand.
years. So what Rita and her husband had originally done is they built the house, and that original carport is actually part of the structure.
Okay.
And with zoning, we tried to, again, always dealt with Desiree, we tried to get clarification because that was confusing to us and confusing to them as to, is that considered part of the square footage and other issues. The carport that was extended out has been there
2009.
in
The extension was
2009.
put on that
Is it-
carport.
We have not done anything with that.
Is it freestanding or is it connected to the, are the two connected?
Yes.
Yeah, they are connected, and it's a contiguous roof line. We had the house re-roofed under permits, and that roof line is all one roof line that comes out over the carports. But the carport adjacent to the house is part of the original structure. The other was an added carport, and it has got fixed columns, if you will, on the end.
It's freestanding.
No.
It's freestanding on 4 columns, the one that's closest to
No,
the fence.
I don't think it has, it's only
No.
freestanding, you have 2 columns on the west side
Mhm.
to support the structure, the
Right.
extension.
Right.
But I don't
you're
think
trying to
there's
say
any
is it
additional
open?
columns where it comes into the original carport.
No, there is not.
They're not.
So now my question refers to staff. Is
Okay.
that considered a connected structure? Is that different than 2 freestanding ones that require a variance for separation?
I think whenever Desiree took it in, she was considering it a separate structure that was abutting the carport, the original carport for the house. And they added this other one that was, I guess it's a carport too, that says covered on the survey. And that's the reason it needed a separation distance variance.
So
That's
she
the
is
way- that's the
considering
way
it
she
2
wrote it. That's the way
freestanding
Desiree
structures.
wrote it up.
So we're considering it 2 freestanding structures for the purpose of this.
Yeah, the
variance.
original carport was part of the house, and then they added this one to it. And so that's what she was looking at, the separation distance needed.
Okay.
I'm not sure I understand what your
There's-
clarification is.
My understanding from my years of being on this board, and I'm not the expert, that's why I was asking Mr. Bodie, is that when you connect it, it becomes part of the structure. Now, the whole
Okay.
setback thing becomes different. Because now you have a single structure. These aren't, the original carport's connected to the house. Now you've connected an extension to the carport that's connected to the house, and you have one continuous structure, not 2 separate ones are shown here. But I'm going to go with what staff has put together here, and well,
Sure.
I'll vote on the idea that it requires a variance for the separation.
Mr. Humberg?
No, nothing.
Okay. So, I've been following this. So now, I just want to make sure, we got 5 variants, all from your main house being Airbnb, the carport being turned into something, the structure being attached. So, no, I don't have any questions. Any discussion here? I just ask you to step aside. Let me ask anyone in the audience here to oppose? Oh, come on up.
We do
Y'all can have a seat, please. I'm sorry?
I think we do have letters. both
Yes, but we have
support
someone
and
in the
oppose.
audience as well.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir, just state your name and address, and then I'll swear you in.
Chad Goswick.
Wait, speaking to the mic, I can't hear you.
Chad Goswick, 222
Wait,
McKinley
can you just
Avenue.
speak up a little bit? I'm sorry.
Chad
Okay.
Goswick, 222 McKinley Avenue.
Okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. How can we help you today? Are you for or against?
Against?
Against. Okay, tell us why.
My only primary concern is the additional structures that were built in 2025, the shed, and then the addition to the detached garage, and their proximity to the setback, which would be the adjoining property line. That's really all it is. I have some structures that give perspective.
So why do you oppose? What is your reason?
It's very close to the property line.
It's close to, okay.
Yes.
Do you have pictures to show us?
Do you own the property that's
Yes,
next
sir.
to the sheds?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
These are just for perspective. So that is the utility shed. This is the addition to the detached garage here.
Now, is that their house or your house?
This is the two structures that are new as of 2025. Here is another perspective just over the fence line. Shed as it relates to the fence line. So those are the only two things, is just the proximity to these two structures as it relates to the adjoining property line. That's all I have.
Okay, so maybe, I'm sorry, just help me out here. Put that picture back up. You're showing us that picture because it's close to your property line. Is that what you're saying
Yes,
to
ma'am.
us?
And over
Okay,
the
put the picture
setback.
back up. Let me just see it again, please.
Okay.
Okay, and that's your fence on that side?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Here is the perspective facing north. So this is the original detached garage that shows on Brevard County Property Appraisers. This was added 2025 along with the utility.
Is that the
Both
space?
structures were added in 2025, right?
Yes, sir.
1 minute, sir. Okay. Anybody have any questions for him? Ms. Clemmings?
So what is your resolution for the,
I don't have a resolution.
well, if you
that-
don't want the variance passed, then that's assuming that you want those structures removed?
I would leave that to you guys. I just am letting you know that it's over the setbacks and it's not what I had anticipated as far as having neighbors. It's a lot of people. As it is right now, with it being an Airbnb, it being a 5-bedroom house, it gets quite busy. An additional structure, I don't know what that, I couldn't speculate, but it would certainly lend itself to thinking there would be additional people. I don't know. That's purely speculation.
Can you put the one picture back up for me?
They're all,
Just the one that shows both structures.
okay.
So that front building is what was added in 2025. Is that the requested ADU?
This is an additional, this is the addition to that structure. So the
That's-
detached garage is an existing structure. This is an addition to the existing structure on the west side of the property.
And then the shed was
And the
just,
shed is in addition to that.
okay. So is it okay to ask?
Yes, sir, I can.
Which one is the one that is, they're trying to turn into an ADU?
This is the ADU.
So that's the Airbnb right there?
No.
No,
That's
ma'am.
the ADU, the new thing that they want.
That's the detached garage behind the,
Detached garage.
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Can we get those pictures too, since you entered them into the
Yes, sir.
application
Thank you.
after you're done?
Yes, sir. Do you want me to hand them to you now?
No, after you're done with your,
I'm good. I'm
Okay,
good.
wait, let's see, any more questions for him?
No.
Mr. Humber? No? Okay, seeing none, thank you. Okay.
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay. Come on back to the podium, please. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'd like to correct something here. Is that, oh, back up there. If you will look at where you see the blue, and
Yes.
then the gentleman has talked about that extension. That extension was there with what you're seeing. That was the storage shed for putting lawnmower equipment or stuff, or things like that by the former owners. The slab went from that side all the way to the other side of the building, the main building itself. And what my wife was trying to explain before, when the storm came through, which is before my time and knowledge, they rebuilt that whole structure with that part right there going halfway to the north. The slab stayed, but they never added on the other half of that. I don't know, I don't think I can point, can I? Oh, I can? Yeah, you see, this all in here, all the way back to about halfway, or slightly more. That was an existing structure. The slab was
can you
the
speak
same.
into the microphone so that
Oh,
we
yeah,
can pick it
I'm
up
sorry.
on the recording?
The slab was the same going all the way across, but the former owner never put the second half of that structure back when they rebuilt the whole thing after the storm. What we did, and I take responsibility for it, we actually went over and raised that roof so that we could bring it all the way across and use the existing slab and put back the other half of that elongated section. But it was part of the whole ADU, which became the ADU requirement. It's just that, so I take exception, not exception, but I just want to clarify what he's saying. That's not correct. That was there up till about halfway. So I don't
Meaning it
know
was
if that
half its
helps you.
size, probably
And that
within the
became, so the
variance.
setback issues that we were dealing with,
Right?
Sorry, what was your question?
Meaning it was approximately half its size and fit within the variance, would fit within the setbacks. If he's saying that that structure was half its size and we're asking
It looked
for,
like from the pictures that they added about 8 feet to it.
right.
Keep
So it
going.
would
And
to
if
the
you look
north,
at the
going to
property
the north.
appraiser site, the original garage was 26 by 16,
Yeah.
and it had 8 feet of patio sticking out to the west.
Yeah.
And now it looks like they've enclosed that patio to make it
No.
part of
No,
it.
no, we did not. See, again,
This is on the east side, and the slab,
west side.
or the west side.
Yeah,
The
put it back
slab,
down.
if you could see this a little clearer, you will see the slab extending out from underneath that. That was the original pad for the shed that was there in 1968, that went the full length of the building and up to the roof line. When they rebuilt it in 2009, they did just an enclosed shed back there. And the roof structure is the only part that wasn't there when we took over and started to make changes. This section is the change up here, the roof going all the way back and taking in from just between the two windows there the bottom part of that was a shed, and it was there. Hasn't been moved, hasn't been changed.
Yeah, so my point is, all of the setback relative to that and his property, that's been there since 2009, or thereabouts. So that setback relative to his fence, that condition had existed way back when. So I understand he has the right to say what he wants, but I don't know whether to say it. It existed. So now to raise an issue with it, I think is more the concern of the ADU being utilized for additional capacity because the Airbnb is now what the main house is being used for. And we actually went to his house to discuss this with him, to explain that to them. He was out of Hawaii, I believe. We talked with his wife. We gave her our letter. We gave her the plans. We discussed this whole issue and a write-up from my wife, and said that we'd appreciate their cooperation because we weren't changing that distance to the fence. We were just merely trying to convert that to an ADU building. And so all I can say is the setbacks that variances we're requesting are really preconditioned things from back in 2009 to 2000 whatever.
Okay.
So I'm
Thank
sorry that goes lengthy on it, but that's it.
Okay.
We do have one other response. It came from the neighbor on the other side, who's not quite as close, and I would like to submit that as well.
What's
That
the
agree.
name?
It is Barron's, it is Tide Barron.
I just wondered if we already have that in our packet.
No, you don't have it in the
Oh,
package,
okay.
because I just brought it in today.
All right, well, you'll have to give that to staff.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Can you explain the variance number 5? Is that the, that's not the structures within the property, that's the structures related to the
Variance number
neighborhood?
5 is the separation distance between their new ADU and the original house. It's supposed to have a 15-foot separation distance between principal structures.
Okay. Okay, I have my answers.
It's 9.9.
Can I make a motion?
Yes.
I make a motion to approve variance 1 and 2 and deny variance 3, 4, and 5 as depicted on the survey provided by the applicant of 8/27/2025.
Do we have a second?
Am I allowed to ask you a question?
Not right.
Variance
No,
2
we've already-
would also need to have variance 3 approved because that's part of the extended carport. So you have
So what-
variance 2 and 3 are for the extended carport that they did.
Okay, so I'm fine with what's existing as staying there, as far as for the
So
shed?
The only thing you're wanting then is
We can legitimize the front, right? That's a normal request.
the front of the house that was built in 57.
Right. The accessory structures from each other on site.
And then they have added somewhere along the line, another carport was added to the original carport.
Right, that's what I don't agree with.
Okay, so then you denied number 2, the separation distance too.
Okay.
So all you wanted is
So I
is
approve,
number
or
1.
my request to approve variance number 1 and deny 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
Okay, well, on the floor, we have approval from Ms. Clemmings to approve variance 1 and to deny variance 2, 3, 4, and 5. Do we have a second?
Okay.
I second.
You can second.
May I ask
I
a
can't
question?
No, you can, you
Oh.
can.
One moment. Okay.
I think we're done with public
Yeah,
discussion.
we're done with
Please take a
discussion.
seat. Please take a seat.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's up for discussion with us.
Yes.
Okay. What say you?
I don't feel good about this one.
Okay.
So, I mean, just saying, I'm a little bit confused. I heard him say he proceeded without getting the whole thing approved up front. We've got letters of approval and disapproval. It just doesn't seem harmonious to the neighborhood. So I'm not in favor.
Okay, so you're against all of it? Yeah, she's against everything.
Well, wait a minute.
except one.
Yeah, I'm in
You're
concurrence
agreeing
with the way the
her.
motion is
Okay,
is
okay,
stated.
so you're in concurrence?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Hunt, how do you feel?
0.
What does that mean?
I'm against all of them.
Okay.
You don't want to legitimize the space from the front?
Nope.
3 inches?
Nothing.
Okay.
I say no to all for me.
So, Ms. Clemens, you stay with what you said, correct?
I mean, I think the first variance is a traditional or normal request. I don't think that's out of the norm. It's legitimizing the primary structure.
Yes, that was to the front of the structure, the primary structure of the.
As a practical matter, we're talking about 3 inches over the distance of
Right.
half the width of
Yes.
this room.
Okay, so we just had a discussion and the board came back with, we have a motion on the floor for approval of only variance 1 with a denial of variance 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're gonna do a private vote.
We're going to do a reading of the
6 steps. Thank you, Mr. Hoffman. Please read the 6 steps.
So I'm not unclear. Ms. Clemens' motion was seconded somewhere by?
I seconded
Yes,
it.
the chair seconded.
Yes.
By the
And
chair.
They're
I
allowed,
seconded it.
yes.
Mhm.
Okay,
you.
the 6
We had to have a
points.
discussion. Go ahead.
We've had our discussion, now the 6 points.
Okay.
That special conditions and circumstances exist which are not applicable to other lands, structures, or buildings in the applicable zoning classification. That the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. That granting the variance requested will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the provisions of this chapter to other lands, buildings, or structures in the identical zoning classification. The literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the identical zoning classification under the provisions of this chapter and will constitute unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant. That the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of land, building, or structure. That the granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this chapter, and that such variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare. Call a vote.
Okay, we'll call a vote now. Mr. Hoffman?
I'm in favor of the motion that denies 2, 3, and 4, 5.
I second.
You made the motion.
Oh,
It's
Okay.
Whatever.
I'm in favor of 1 and in denial of 2, 3, 4, and 5. Mr.
I say
Hoffman?
no to all.
To all, okay. Ms. Clemmings? Again, just say.
I'm in
No,
I agree with my motion to approve 1 and deny
That's a
2,
yes.
3, 4, 5.
Okay. So this variance have only been approved for variance 1, and it has been denied for variance 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Can you tell me what variance 1 is?
The front setback,
What's that?
the front setback.
What about legal noncompliance? That house structure.
your questions up to staff.
So
Thank you.
what I don't understand is,
Please take your questions up with staff.
up to that,
After the meeting.
wow.
Can we have our next variance, please?
We're going to have to talk to you later on. We're in the middle of this meeting. So next item is H9. George and Linda Cannata request variance of Chapter 62, Article 6, Brevard County Code for an accessory structure in an SR zoning classification. Application is 25B 00066, located at tax account number 2318673 in District 2.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
George Cannata, 4510 Monica Court, North Merritt Island.
Okay, and your name? Yeah.
I am Linda Cannata at 4510 Monica Court, Merritt Island, Florida.
Okay. You both swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, how can we help you today?
Well, we recently moved into this house this past April, and my goal was to put a 4-car garage up. Came down the county and got an approved permit, and so we started construction. We did the concrete slab and building structure. After that, we were asked by the county to get a border survey. So we did get the border survey done, and then it was pointed out to us that we were 15 feet from the north property line, and it was supposed to be 25 feet. And I wish there was something that I can do as far as moving the building, but it would be definitely a major financial hardship. I personally talked to all of our immediate neighbors, and they didn't have any issues or concerns. So we're asking for the 10-foot variance.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Clemens? District 2.
I have no questions.
No questions. Mr. Huffman?
No questions.
No questions.
Okay. So let me just reiterate what you just told me.
Sure.
So you have a four-car garage, you got a permit, you did construction, a concrete slab, and you just need this variance to legitimize it, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just check with the audience. Can you step to the side, please? Is there anyone here, yay or opposing or nay, for this variance? Seeing none, come back. We have a letter of support for this one. Okay. And this is from, let's see who this is from. This is from Ken and Tracy Singleton.
Yes.
In support of what you're doing. Okay, all right. Okay.
Question that they are the neighbor that's adjacent to the garage?
They're across the street.
Across the street?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Okay.
Ms. Clemens?
I make a motion to approve the variance as depicted on the survey provided by the applicant with a date of 9/4/2025.
I'll second.
We have a motion on the table approved by Ms. Clemens, second by Mr. Humberg. We will read the 6 points. Oh, I did the audience already.
I'll read the 6 points if you want me to.
Ms. Clemens, can you read the 6 points
The
for me,
special
please? Thank
conditions
you.
and circumstances exist which are not applicable to other lands, structures, or buildings in the applicable zoning classification. That special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. That granting the variance requested will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the provisions of this chapter to other lands, buildings, structures in the identical zoning classification. The literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter will deprive any applicant or the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the identical zoning classification of the provisions of this chapter and will constitute unnecessary and undue hardship to the applicant. That the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of the land, building, or structure that granting the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this chapter, and that such use variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare.
Okay, we'll do an individualized vote right now. Mr. Hoffman?
I vote yes.
I vote yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Your variance have passed.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Bodie?
Yes, item H10, John H. McLeod, request variance, Chapter 62, Article 6, Brevard County Code for an accessory structure in an SR zoning classification. Parcel is currently zoned GU zoning. Application number is 25V00067, located tax account number 2802679 in District 5.
Okay, good afternoon.
Hi.
Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
John McLeod, 3575 Carriage Gate Drive, Melbourne.
Thank you. Your name?
Stacey Rosborough. I live at 979 Armstrong Road, Palm Bay. I used to reside at 3575.
Okay.
This is my dad.
Oh, okay. And can I swear you both in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. How can we help you today?
gonna let her
You're going to let her speak?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I believe the rezoning went through. He got that passed I don't know, a couple weeks ago. But right now, the issue is he has a outbuilding on his property that is, I believe, 247 square foot over what it should be. The structure has been there for over 25 years. He has really one neighbor. She wrote a letter of approval. They put a new housing development in to the east of him, which
West Melbourne.
which is in West Melbourne, not in the county. He is in the county, and there's a retention pond that separates him. The structure is in the back corner of the property. You really can't even see it from the front of the house or the road. It is only he and a couple neighbors. His neighbor had like 10 acres. He has .967. What did we decide?
9.6 or 9.
That's why we had to do the rezoning.
I thought it was an acre. I mean, I've been there since 1973, and I've always thought it was an acre. And I had purchased it from the guy I used to work for years ago and built the house in 73. I've been there since 1973. But, yeah, and my neighbors, I've had that neighbor for 40 years. Matter of fact, she raised both her kids, and they live back behind her, so that's our little neighborhood right there.
Okay. Well, this is District 5. Mr. Hoffman?
So I didn't stop to bother you, but I did drive back there. It's the first time I've been back on Carriage Gate Road. I've lived in that area. In fact, you brought up, Miss Doris wrote a letter to us,
Right.
and of course you know, she's quite the fan.
She's a nice lady.
Yeah. So you're not replacing the shed back there, you're just legitimizing what's there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And it looks completely compatible with the area there. It's kind of semi-rural.
Yeah.
What is directly behind you?
A lot. There was like a 4-acre strip. Well, I always thought it was an acre, but anyway, there's 4 lots in there, and I bought the one up front back in 73 when I worked for M.O. Bedford at the time, and he sold me that lot to build a house on. And I've been there since, like I say, I moved in there Christmas weekend of 1973, and I've been there ever since.
So they're undeveloped lots at this point?
Yes.
They're still undeveloped?
They're trying to sell them. I think they have them up for sale, but it's going to require a lot of dirt. Nobody's up to buying them. I think people had talked about buying it, putting in a storage unit or something of that nature, but it is almost 4 acres, the same width as his property, but it goes further
And the
back.
easement thing is another thing that they're going to have a problem with too, because since they built that development there next to us over in West Melbourne there is a neighbor further back in there It's been there for, I don't know, a long time.
So never
Yeah.
say never, but there's probably not going to be any development there in the
Well,
near future.
the price they're asking for that, like I say, it's, that's
Sign of the times.
There could be a neighbor eventually.
maybe.
Okay. But even still,
I'm
from what I could
I'm
see.
just trying to live out what's left of my life in peace.
Yeah. From what I could see, it blends in fine with the neighborhood. So that's all my questions.
Okay. Mr. Humber?
No.
Ms. Clements?
No questions.
And no questions for me. Let me just check with the audience. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to this variance? Yay or nay? Seeing none, come back. Do you mind doing the 6 point? Okay, thank you.
That special conditions and circumstances exist which are not applicable to the other lands, structures, or buildings in the applicable zoning classification. That the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. That the granting of the variance requested will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the provisions of this chapter to other lands, buildings, or structures in the identical zoning classification. That literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the identical zoning classification under the provisions of this chapter and will constitute unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant. That the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of the land, building, or structure. That the granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this chapter, and that such use variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare.
Okay. Your motion?
Oh, do we have, oh.
You gotta make a motion.
I,
You got motion too?
yeah, I got ahead of myself. I make a motion that we approve the variance as requested and depicted on the survey dated
7/22/25.
7/22/25.
Okay.
A second.
We have a motion on the table to approve by Mr. Hoffman, second by Ms. Clemmings. Individualized vote. Mr. Hoffman?
I'm in favor of my motion. I vote aye.
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 Aye. Your variance have passed. Thank you. Mr. Bodie?
Yes, item
Bring it
H11,
home.
James A. and Patricia R. Kent request variance of Chapter 62, Article 6, Brevard County Code for the lot size for a proposed AU zoning classification. Parcel is currently zoned GU zoning classification. Application number is 25V00070, located at tax count 2314112 in District 1.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you tell us your name and address, please?
James Kent, 5090 Pine Street, Cocoa, Florida.
Okay. And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
How can we help you today?
I requested a zoning change from GU to AU. My current acreage is 2.23, which is, as I understand it, under the minimum of 2.5. So that's the variance that I'm requesting.
Sounds simple enough.
I'm sorry.
Sounds simple enough.
Something went on? Okay, so you just want to change it from agricultural to general use?
No, he's wanting to change it from general use
General
to agricultural.
Okay. I'm sorry, I said it backwards. General use to agriculture. Okay. What do you have planned to do with your land?
We want to put an in-ground pool in,
Oh,
is
okay.
what started all this.
The in-ground pool.
2-acre pool, that'd be a big one, huh?
Okay. And do you have neighbors to the left and the right of you, correct?
I do.
Okay. They oppose or?
They do not oppose, neither one.
Okay. All right. Any questions, Mr. Hoffman?
Just a quick one. I see the roads out front. What is behind there? Is it a canal or something?
In the back of my
In the
property?
back of the property, yeah.
There is a canal and then an equivalent lot with the house toward the front of that. there's a lot of space between myself and the neighbor behind me.
So you're not going to have a rear neighbor as long as there's a canal there?
No.
Yeah, so it's just the left and right neighbors?
Yes, and I've spoken to both of them, and they're in agreement.
Okay.
Mr. Humber?
I'm good.
Ms. Clemmings?
No questions.
Okay. Anybody like to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve the variance request as depicted on the survey provided by the applicant with a date of 7/21/2017.
Okay, we have a motion to.
I'll second.
We have a motion on the table to approve by Ms. Clemmings, and we have a second by Mr. Humberg. Individualized vote, Mr. Hoffman?
We didn't ask for any
Oh,
opposed.
I'm sorry. Is, okay, thank you.
I'll do it. No, we just didn't ask for the opposed.
Right. Thank you. Ms. Clemmings is gonna read it.
I'll read it,
Okay.
but we didn't ask about if anybody had any objections.
I did, I thought I
Did
did.
you?
Is there anybody here with any objections
Just making
for
sure.
this variance in the audience? Seeing none, come back.
That special conditions and circumstances exist which are not applicable to other land structures or buildings in the applicable zoning classification, that special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. Granting the variance requested will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the provisions of this chapter to other lands, buildings, structures in the identical zoning classification. That literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the identical zoning classification under the provisions of this chapter and will constitute unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant. That the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make it possible the reasonable use of the land, building, or structure. That granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this chapter, and that such use variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare. Ta-da!
Okay. Ms. Clemmings, we made a motion to approve.
I vote to approve the
I vote to approve.
application.
I vote to approve.
Aye.
Your variance have been approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
See, going last is not so bad. We get
No,
tired
it's
too.
not.
Okay, this meeting is now adjourned.
The opinions expressed by any member of the public during any period of public comment do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, or the program sponsor, and are solely those of the presenter. The Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, and the program sponsor hereby expressly disclaim any and all responsibility or liability for any defamatory or slanderous statements expressed by any member of the public during any such period.